Welcome back to another episode of The Art of Volunteering. I'm your host, Stormy Bell. Now, this episode is airing as our first one in 2025. So what a better way to kick off the new year's than to talk about taxes. So today I have two friends who are going to join us who volunteer with VITA. It's a volunteer income tax assistance and the impact that they're making in the region of Greater Philadelphia. So welcome, Johanna Gilbert and Paul Cardell. Thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Yep. Happy to be here.
All right. Who we're going to be talking to. Johanna Gilbert is a site coordinator who started with VITA in 2012, maybe a little earlier, we'll see, as a basic tax preparer, and over the years has increased her involvement and responsibilities. For the past 4 years, she's been site coordinator at their Pottstown site. This past year, she took responsibility to support their different sites and volunteers in training and coordination. She is a retired project manager from a financial organization. She has served on several nonprofit boards and enjoys volunteering to help her neighbors and community. W. Paul Cardell III is also a site coordinator. He is a retired financial operations and sales executive who is an active member in the community and has served on nonprofit boards in Chester County area. He is committed to giving back to support people in need in his community. He enjoys meeting and working with new people. The sense of satisfaction he gets from being able to help someone improve their quality of life is immeasurable. Well, welcome again. All right, let's begin with the founding of VITA and talk about what the mission is of the organization.
Well, I'll start. VITA itself is an IRS program that is nationwide, volunteer income tax assistance to provide free federal and state returns, tax returns for people of low income predominantly. These programs are done locally, so that's monitored and staffed locally through local nonprofits. So the local nonprofit that does is Life Transforming Ministries, which is out of Chester County. So we serve Chester County predominantly with about 10 sites, and also Pottstown, which is in Montgomery County. Paul, do you want to talk about Life Transforming Ministries?
Sure. Hi, it's Paul. Life Transforming Ministries is a faith-based nonprofit in Chester County. They provide a number of services to people in need in the community, educational services, serving communities like people experiencing homelessness or people experiencing food insecurity. Also, they have a program that provides services to people who are leaving incarceration and looking to get themselves back on their feet in society. So there's a number of programs that Life Transforming Ministries provides. Again, it's a faith-based organization led by a local pastor, a minister of faith. And they do a lot of great things in the Chester County community, helping people that really need services to get by, and also a lot of things to help improve the quality of their lives, which is really one of the things that VITA helps them provide.
That's awesome.
So back in 2004, one of these people that they were serving came in and had a W-2 and didn't know what to do with it. And the pastor helped prepare their tax return. And so that brought him to VITA, brought VITA to him, and they started from doing 15 tax returns back in 2004 to, I had to look this up, 2,508 last year.
Nice.
Bringing back $3.7 million to the community through the different credits and whatnot that are available.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it grew exponentially, and the word is getting out, and thanks to you, we hope to do even more.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, where do you have where do you do what you do? Like, do you partner with community centers, churches? What does that look like?
I'll take that one. Yes, we have partnerships with many of community organizations in Chester County. most a good number of them or all of them are probably United Way affiliated, which is how we kind of find them. But it's generally we're in church. We're definitely in churches and other types of organizations that are focused on providing some type of services to people in need in the community. All of them are sites that we do not pay any rent for, so all of those organizations are generous enough to allow us to use their space, at no cost, which helps us focus the dollars that we have on, supporting the organization in terms of providing the services with volunteers and recruiting efforts and things like that. So, we do have a lot of great partners that allow us to work in their facilities and provide the services to the community. And that's also one of the ways we reach out to people to let them know that the services available, as well as trying to recruit volunteers. We generally work with those nonprofit organizations to get the message out, whether it's handing flyers out at a church service or just providing a flyer on their bulletin board when people are visiting that facility. It helps us get the message out and helps us grow, as Johanna said, to bring in more people that we can help get their taxes done for them.
Well, you just answered my next question, so I'm so excited because I was going to ask you, how do people find out about you?
Well, there's lots of we do a lot of obviously a lot of advertising ourselves now on the internet, Facebook, Twitter, you name or X, I should say. You name it, we're trying to get the message out. And also this year, Johanna is leading some efforts we have in terms of reaching out to local companies and other organizations that have not been affiliated with us to try to get our message out. So we've definitely got a focused effort and a team that Johanna is leading to help us get the message out. And this year we're looking forward to having a great year in terms of getting volunteers in and continuing that moving forward as we learn from those efforts, which ones work, which ones don't. And it's also, like I said, helped us get just our message out to those organizations which we've never been affiliated with before. So that's a fresh audience for us.
So how many volunteers do you have?
That is dependent on the year,
Okay.
but generally we hope to have 100 or more volunteers. It's predominantly volunteer run.
Mm-hmm.
They have to go through a certification process every year. There's an IRS certification process so that they're allowed to do the returns and they know what they're doing. And we're hoping to get actually more volunteers because last year we were at 1.3 weeks behind in what we did intake. We take all the information, then we do the returns, and we try to get them done as quickly as possible. And the more volunteers we can get, which is what I'm advocating for a lot this summer and fall and winter, and that will help us meet the need of the community even more.
Because as you take more tax returns, obviously you need more volunteers. So
Exactly.
They kind of go hand in hand.
Without a doubt. As the word is getting out more, we're getting more people come in because the people we've helped last year will tell their neighbors or their family members. And suddenly one person that came in last year brings their 3 family members with them all at the same time. So each year we have grown.
That's great. I love that. It just grows exponentially.
Right.
So you've been a part of this. So you said like 2012. Paul, how long have you been a part of the organization?
I joined the organization the end of 2017, so this is my 8th season coming up.
Yeah.
I retired from working that summer and was looking for a way to provide some, give back to my community. I had a very successful career. The company I worked for had a focus on having its managers be community minded and providing support in the community, and found VITA through the United Way, and joined that year, and just was as Johanna said, just a regular tax preparer. And within, I think, about a year, they started asking me to be a site coordinator. So from there, it's just kind of blossomed into what it is today. But I've been involved for, like I said, this will be my 8th season. and it's been come back every year because I've enjoyed it. Certainly, the satisfaction of being able to help people makes you feel better about yourself, and it's a good way to spend. It's a good way to spend the day.
Love it. Did you have to have any type of special experience or background to be a tax preparer? Like, do you have to be like a CPA? I mean, you two aren't. So what does that look like?
You do not have to have any background.
Okay.
You have to be willing to go through training, and there's a certification test that allows them to volunteers to prepare taxes. We have different roles. So if someone doesn't want to do it, they don't like numbers, they don't like computers, we have other roles as a greeter and interpreters. Sometimes we need language interpreters. But nope, you don't need to be a CPA. I'm not one. I wasn't when I started, and still am not. But I every year have to pass that test.
Okay. So it is something, because I'm sure the tax codes or certain things change each year. So you need to be up on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, the training, really, it's all about the training. And every year, even though Johanna's been involved with it for 13 years and myself 7, we have to go through the same testing as everyone else does every year. So you have to demonstrate that you're up to speed on the tax code. But again, trading is very user friendly. You do it at your own pace, and there's people to help you get through it. And then even during the tax season, especially for our new volunteers that are a little nervous coming in, that's the job of the site coordinator, is to act as their lifeline when they have questions or just need to feel better or more confident about what they're doing. The site coordinators are there to act as an right over your shoulder mentor to help you through it. You don't prepare taxes at a site unless there's a site coordinator there to help. So we definitely focus on making sure that the volunteers are well trained, and not just trained, but also that they're comfortable as they get into doing the work. That's the most important thing. Is it's all great when you're sitting in a classroom, but when you've got somebody's tax return in your hand, they're relying on you to do a good job. And we want to make sure that the people understand that the site corners are there to help, and we'll help them do a good job so they can feel good about the service that they provided to the community member.
I'd like to add that the certification test we have to take is open book, which was a great relief to me at the beginning, because there's a lot of numbers, a lot of different things you have to think about on dependents and what is a good credit, and are they eligible for it. You don't really have to memorize it. You really just have to learn how to use the book that we have that is that lays it out in pretty comprehensively. So that was that at the beginning, I was very grateful for that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you share a story of impact? Something that you've seen, whether it be with a client or a volunteer, that you can directly correlate what you're doing in the whole process of tax preparation, and how it's impacted, like I said, either the volunteer or the client's life.
I'll be happy to take that one, because those are the stories that help that bring me back, and certainly that bring back a lot of our volunteers. I mean, we are directly impacting or directly interacting with the taxpayers. One of the best parts is when they come in to get their tax after the tax return's been prepared. They come in, whether you talk to them on the phone or whether they're coming into the site. You're letting them know what kind of return they're getting, and especially for families with children, you just see the parents' face light up when they find out they're going to get a nice tax return. They know how that's going to impact their lives, and lots of times they come in with their kids too, and the kids are kind of running around having some fun. But it's great to see the impact that we have when we give good news to the taxpayers that they're getting a refund. And most of the vast majority of our taxpayers do get refunds. Many of them, they're lower income folks, which certainly tax brackets are built in their favor. and with all the credits that the government has put in place over the last couple of years, the focus is to get dollars back in people's pockets to help improve the quality of their lives. So those are kind of the success stories when you get to tell somebody, how they done and how grateful they are that, there's, we're giving them that news. We've done the service for them, for free. So that helps put more dollars in their pocket instead of, giving the money to an H&R Block or, someone else. Those are the kind of success stories that really make the job worthwhile. And they're certainly for me the ones that, I'll come home and tell my wife about, that we saw someone that had a couple of kids running around and told her that she was getting a, $4,000 tax return. And you could just see their face just light up that they know that's going to help them, take care of their family.
Right.
I wanted to mention that I just found out that one of the people that I have done her tax return for several years now actually signed up to be a volunteer this year.
Oh, full
She really
circle.
appreciates our help, and then she has the actual bandwidth to come and help out. And so she's finding that she wants to give back, and that really touched me just the other day.
Well, that speaks volumes to the impact that you're making.
Yes, yeah.
Love it.
We have people coming like Paul. I remember last year someone was getting their refund, and they were so grateful because their car had broken down, and they were going to be able to get that fixed with that refund that they got, which is critical for anybody, just about anybody anyway. But for them to get to work and to be able to continue with their life.
Yes, and for those who don't know, in Chester County, we don't necessarily have transit to be able to get around. So cars are vital
Yep.
to that process. So that's
Right.
I love that individual story. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. You are volunteers. What motivates you to be a volunteer? Like, yes, you're doing good, but what's your heart motivation for this?
From my perspective, I have been very fortunate in my life. Um, you know, healthy family. That's still close in the area. Had a great career and was fortunate enough to retire early at just 59. And really, it's just I've been fortunate, and I want to spend some time helping other people be a little bit more fortunate than they would otherwise. So that's really what you know why I say I'm going to spend this day instead of golfing. I'm going to take the day and go volunteer and help somebody have a better life by helping them get their taxes done and having a better chance to have a better life. So that's really why I do it. Just to see the gratitude you get from the taxpayers, and the taxpayers could be a family with a bunch of kids to a senior citizen who's looking for some help and is on a fixed income and needs every dollar they can to continue their life as is. I mean, it's really just the gratitude that you get back from the taxpayers. That's the motivation for me. It makes me feel good, and that's why I spend my time doing it.
Thank you.
For me, it's pretty similar. I worked for a financial institution, and they actually advocated for VITA. We had a program to encourage people to get trained and go do this in the areas that we lived. And that's once my kids were old enough that I could spare some time, I thought, why don't I use the skills? I understand the magic of compounding, and I understand about credits and earned income tax credits and different benefits that the tax law came, because I always did my own tax return, and I found it like a puzzle. I like puzzles. So there was a great meshing there of the skills that I got from my job, the fact that I like puzzles, and giving back, because the same as Paul, I felt like I have always been fortunate. I was able to get an education, work for a good company that trained me, and I wanted to use these skills to give back to those in the community. And what else are we here for than to help each other? I think community is critical, and maybe I can't build a house, but I can actually help them do their tax return, because everyone has to do one.
That's right.
who has income, but not everyone should have to pay for it. Some people need to because they have estates and whatnot, but I want to help that person not have to give a couple $100 out to get a return done that they're required to do.
Very nice. Okay. Now, you've been doing this a while. Can you share something that was planned, whatever you want, that didn't go as planned? It doesn't mean that it went wrong. It just didn't go the way you thought it was going to. And what did you learn from it?
There are a lot of different ways we can go. I'll tell you one thing that went as no one could plan was COVID happened. It literally, we were in the middle of tax season and COVID shut everything down. But people still needed to do their returns, and it went into August. Was it August, Paul, that we
Yeah.
But first we had to shut down, but we had people's returns and we had to figure out how to do this. Luckily, things got extended and whatnot, and we managed through. We stutter stepped our way through that year, and even the next year. But what the benefit that came out of that, we used to have the taxpayer come in and sit with us, and we would actually do their return while they were there. And then everything is 100% quality reviewed, and they would go to the next person who would quality review. And the wait was sometimes 3 or 4 hours for some people to get their tax return done. This is not something you can do in the era of COVID. And so technology, they had to make technology a lot better. And what we now do is we do intake when the people come in. We interview them, take all the information we need from them and scan them. And then we prepare the taxes on hours when we're not open.
Okay.
So we actually can meet the needs of a lot more people, because instead of someone being there for 4 hours and maybe we can only do 20 people in a night, perhaps we can do 30 or 35 intakes, and then the returns happen off time. And so that actually, I think it works out a lot better. And also I feel like for someone to have to sit there with their kids, like Paul was saying, and wait hours and hours, it was just not the best client experience for anybody, and for us either. So that might not be exactly what you were asking about, but to me, it actually has created a much better service that we provide.
No, that's perfect. Paul?
I think there's a lot of our sites, as I mentioned, are in facilities that are obviously are not VITA sites. They're outside facilities. And one of the challenges of working at one of the remote sites, especially where I was working many of the years, was the having to go in and get everything set up prior to the opening of the facility. You had to get tables and chairs set up, computers up, the computers hooked up to the network, and make sure everything was set up and ready to go. And the learning lesson was, as early as I would go to the site to make sure that was all ready to go by the time the door opened. The taxpayers were one step ahead of us, and they'd be waiting when we got there. And the big challenge was, how do you, get people to understand, hey, appreciate you came in early, but it's going to be, a while before we can get set up. So part of it was just making sure, the learning was, get there earlier than you think you need to, because people are going to be waiting for you. And, and like anything else, when people are waiting, they get impatient, and then there's a crowd. And everybody's like, well, who's first in line? Who's last in line? When am I going to get my taxes done? So it's really just making sure that we got there in plenty of time to get things set up and put a system in place to be able to identify, who was there first, and make sure that they're taken care of, because you don't want, people to get upset that they think that somebody jumped the line ahead of them. most of the people that we do the taxes for, they're extremely grateful for the service that we provide. But there's always a few folks that think they should be taken care of first, or think they were slighted in some way. So it's, they said, it's making sure that you sacrifice a little bit more of your personal time by getting there earlier to get set up, so that you're ready to help the people as soon as they get there, and then also making sure that we had a system in place to let people know that we recognize when they came in, and we'll make sure we get to them in the correct order, so nobody feels slighted. So it's the remote sites can be a challenge that way, especially as the season goes on and people know time's running out. They're looking to get things done quicker. So it's just a learning process, and that's just one of many that we go through during every season. And every season is different, presents different challenges, as Johanna said. COVID was an enormous disruptor, but we figured it out, and by the next time the next year came, we had a completely different process in place that still was in compliance with government regulations, but also, most importantly, one that made people feel comfortable coming in and interacting with us in order to still get their taxes done, because they know it was necessary. So it's really just understanding the needs of people, and making sure they're comfortable and taken care of, and that we're there to serve them.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Okay, we're almost at the end of our conversation. So I'm going to give you the mic. You both can share. I want you to love on VITA. Just, what maybe something we didn't discuss that you want to bring up, your volunteers, your clients, just love on VITA.
What I don't think we fully discussed, especially since this is the art of volunteering, are the types of volunteers we need. So we are always in the need of more volunteers. There is the role called greeter. That's someone who meets the people when they come in the door, make sure they have the forms they needed and know what they need to do. And also, as Paul was saying, keep them, so we know first come, first serve. Basically, we try to do that as best we can. And that they help manage the site. And although I often thought that didn't sound like a big job, as a site coordinator, the greeter is one of my most important volunteers. And you don't need to pass any tax law to do that. So if you're interested in volunteering but don't want to take that test, here's the first step to try to see what it's like. Then we have different levels of basic and advanced tax preparers that are able to do different levels. And then the next is site coordinator, which Paul and I are. We manage the site, the volunteers that are coming in, and the people to help things run smoothly. One other role that we need is translators, especially Spanish speakers, because we're in some areas where there are a lot of Spanish speakers, and most of our volunteers don't speak both languages. Anyway, I started to go along that way. I started as a basic volunteer. I went when I could, because I had kids growing up. I did a few hours a week or a few times a week. And now I just love doing this. And I have taken on the role now to help all the different volunteers at their different levels. We're adding some mentoring types of programs and stuff to just make it so it's a good experience for the volunteers. Our emphasis has always been on the taxpayer, and now we need to add some emphasis to make it a good experience for the volunteers even better.
Awesome.
I think for me, for VITA, it started out as something that I felt I needed to do, like I said, in order to give back to people in need. But it's really become I want to do this because not only do I feel good about helping people, but I like the people I'm working with at VITA.
Good point.
I know I can say at this point that many of the volunteers, especially the ones that work with over a number of years, I'm as much a friend with them as I am a fellow volunteer. The organization, Life Transforming Ministries, and Bill, the pastor, and Donna, who is the the overall leader of the program, provide us an enormous amount of support, and it's unbelievable the number of times that Donna says thank you to us for for what we're doing. They are just we're not helping them. We're helping people in the community, but they are so grateful for the fact that we give our time to help them support the missions of life transforming ministries. They really make you feel good about the fact that you're giving up some of your time. They're, the folks that we service certainly say thank you, but Bill and Donna say thank you just as much, if not more, than they do, because they really support they really, they know how important we are to the program, but they also just good people that are making sure we're over the years become friendly with all the site coordinators. We talk on a regular basis, even though we don't see each other. We have weekly meetings, and then we get together for a breakfast at the end of the season, and we become friends as much as colleagues, and especially around helping each other solve problems that may come up with a particular taxpayer or tax return in our department. You can always reach out to the site coordinators for somebody to give you advice on how to serve that how to serve that taxpayer and solve their problem. So it's really become a community of friends who are all working towards a mission that we all feel good about. And the folks, as I said, the folks at Life Transforming Ministries make us feel good every day. And Donna, who runs the program, to her fault, and we tell her this all the time, but she constantly says 24/7 she's available. Call me on the weekend, call me at night, whatever happens to be. And sometimes we're working at night in some of the sites till 8 or 9 o'clock, and if we have a problem, I hate to say it, but I've called her, those kind of hours at home, interrupted her dinner, saying we've got a computer issue or something's going on, but she wants us to reach out, and she's always there to help. It's at least it's great group of people to work with, because we're all we all understand the mission, but we all know that we're here to help each other, not just help individual taxpayers. We're helping the volunteers be successful, and helping the other site coordinators get the job done in their particular area. So it's become a nice little friendly community that I'm proud to be part of.
Oh, Paul, I'm so glad you said that, and you said it perfectly, because I feel the same way. We're all in it together, and I have some now lifelong friends that I met through this program.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. All right, we are at the close of our conversation, and it has been really insightful. And I hope that my listeners, no matter where you are, that you consider volunteering in this capacity. You truly are helping someone else thrive in whatever circumstance that they're in. So I ask you to reach out to the VITA near you, and together we can help restore the fabric of our society. So thank you, Paul and Johanna, for being on the Art of Volunteering today. And I look forward to seeing all my listeners next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.